you're describing, Harry, is called being high. I mean, it brings new meaning to your highness. This is a dangerous conversation.
New nickname, you're high.
Picture this, you're married to a prince, you've got global recognition, Netflix deals, and every opportunity imaginable to build something meaningful. Yet somehow, your second chance at creating a lifestyle empire doesn't just fail, it becomes a masterclass in how to destroy credibility, waste opportunities, and drag your husband down with you. Meghan Markle's latest venture isn't just another celebrity brand flop, it's the beginning of what looks like a complete unraveling, and the casualties are piling up faster than anyone expected. The first red flag appeared when Meghan launched American Riviera Orchard with all the fanfare of a major corporate rollout, but none of the substance to back it up. The initial product drop was supposed to be exclusive, limited, and demand-driven. Instead, it turned into an embarrassing display of manufactured scarcity that fooled absolutely nobody. Items were marked as sold out the moment the website went live, not because of overwhelming demand, but because there was barely any inventory to begin with. People who were refreshing the page in real time watched products disappear instantly, like someone was playing games with the back-end code rather than running an actual business. But here's where it gets truly pathetic. The products themselves were nothing special. We're talking about overpriced jam that professional preservers openly criticized, random dried flower arrangements in mason jars that served no clear purpose, and a marketing strategy that seemed lifted straight from a 2015 Pinterest mood board. When actual jam experts started pointing out that Meghan's artisanal preserves were just basic fruit spreads with fancy packaging, the illusion started cracking. These weren't luxury goods, they were craft store experiments with royal price tags. The brand name itself became a problem almost immediately. American Riviera Orchard sounds like something generated by throwing darts at a tourism brochure, and the trademark issues proved that even the lawyers couldn't make sense of it. After months of legal complications and application irregularities, Meghan was forced to completely rebrand to as ever, a name change that screams desperation rather than strategic evolution. When you can't even secure the legal rights to your own brand name, it's a clear sign that the foundation was rotten from the start. Meanwhile, something far more troubling was happening to Harry. Those who followed his journey know he's been open about his battles with mental health, substance use, and the crushing weight of losing his mother at such a young age. But recent public appearances suggest those old demons might be creeping back. His demeanor has shifted from the confident, charismatic prince to someone who looks genuinely lost. There's a vacant quality to his expressions, a robotic delivery in his speeches, and an overall energy that feels flat and disconnected. People close to royal circles are whispering about concerning changes in his behavior, and given his history of using substances to cope with emotional pain, the speculation is becoming impossible to ignore. The agoraphobia that Harry has discussed publicly seems to be intensifying. He's made fewer appearances, and when he does show up, there's a noticeable discomfort that goes beyond normal anxiety. This is someone who once thrived in public settings, who commanded rooms with natural charisma. Now he looks like he'd rather be anywhere else, and frankly, it's painful to watch. The timing isn't coincidental, as Meghan's brand failures mount, and their California dream starts looking more like a nightmare. The pressure is falling squarely on Harry's shoulders. King Charles finds himself in an impossible position. Sources suggest he's deeply worried about his son's well-being, but after years of drama, public accusations, and family betrayals, there's only so much he can do without enabling destructive behavior. The speculation that Charles might still be quietly providing financial support adds another layer of complexity. If true, it means the royal family is essentially bankrolling what looks like a slow-motion breakdown, which creates its own set of problems for the monarchy's reputation. And Charles's legacy. Princess Eugenie's role in all this remains murky, but significant. She was recently spotted with Misha Nanu, one of Meghan's closest friends, which reignited rumors about whether she's serving as some kind of back-channel communication link between the Sussexes and the royal family. Some see her as a potential spy keeping tabs for Meghan, while others believe she's genuinely trying to maintain family connections despite the chaos. Either way, her position highlights just how fractured these relationships have become. The media landscape around Meghan and Harry has shifted dramatically. Outlets that once treated them with kid gloves are now asking harder questions and showing less patience with their contradictions. The narrative of brave victims fighting against institutional racism and media persecution has worn thin, especially when their own actions keep undermining their credibility. Every carefully curated Instagram post and rehearsed public statement feels increasingly hollow, and audiences are responding with growing skepticism rather than sympathy. But what's really damaging is the disconnect between their public image and their actual results. They talk about about building media empires and changing the world, but the tangible outcomes are embarrassingly small. The American Riviera Orchard launch reportedly generated just a few $1,000s in actual sales, despite all the hype and supposed sellouts. Their Netflix projects have failed to create lasting cultural impact, their Spotify deal imploded spectacularly, and now their lifestyle brand looks like another expensive mistake. At some point, the gap between aspiration and achievement becomes impossible to ignore. The financial pressure has to be intense. Maintaining their Montecito lifestyle, funding various business ventures, covering legal fees, and supporting a staff while generating minimal actual revenue creates an unsustainable equation. If Charles really is providing backup support, that safety net won't last forever. The royal family has its own financial constraints and public accountability measures that make indefinite Sussex subsidies politically impossible. But the most concerning aspect isn't the business failures or even the money problems, it's what appears to be happening to Harry personally. The combination of career disappointments, family estrangement, relocation stress, and the responsibility of being Meghan's primary emotional and financial support system seems to be taking a serious toll. His history of mental health struggles and substance use makes this situation particularly volatile. When someone with his background starts showing signs of deterioration, the consequences can escalate quickly and unpredictably. The irony is that Harry and Meghan had every advantage imaginable: royal connections, global platform, financial resources, media attention, and public goodwill that most entrepreneurs could only dream of. Yet they've managed to squander almost all of it through poor decisions, contradictory messaging, and what appears to be a fundamental misunderstanding of how to build sustainable success. They seem to have confused fame with competence and assumed that celebrity status would automatically translate into business acumen. What makes this particularly tragic is that there were real opportunities here. A thoughtfully developed lifestyle brand connected to meaningful causes could have worked. Authentic content about their experiences, challenges, and growth could have resonated with audiences. Partnerships with established organizations rather than attempts to build everything from scratch might have created actual impact. Instead, they chose to prioritize image management over substance, and the results speak for themselves. The Sussex brand has become synonymous with contradiction and disappointment. They lecture about privacy while courting publicity, discuss authenticity while everything feels manufactured, and claim independence while apparently relying on family support. Their public statements rarely align with their actions, and their business ventures consistently underperform relative to the hype. This isn't just bad luck or media unfairness, it's a pattern of poor judgment and unrealistic expectations. As we watch this unfold, the question isn't whether Harry and Meghan can turn things around with another rebrand or new project. The question is whether Harry can stabilize his personal situation before the pressure becomes completely overwhelming. Because behind all the business failures and media criticism is a human being who seems to be struggling with forces that go much deeper than professional disappointment. The signs are there, the history is concerning, and the trajectory looks increasingly dangerous. The tragedy isn't that Meghan's lifestyle brand failed. Celebrity businesses fail all the time. The tragedy is that in pursuing an impossible dream of having everything on their own terms, they seem to have lost sight of what actually matters: Harry's well-being, family relationships, and the chance to build something genuinely meaningful, rather than just profitable. Right now, it looks like they're losing on all fronts, and the cost might be higher than anyone anticipated.